Hey everybody, Andrew back again with another video, and today I have something a little bit special. As you know, I'm a big fan of the Surface Pro line. Most recently, I did my review of the Surface Pro 9, the Intel model, and of course, the one with 5G running the Snapdragon 8cx Gen 3. Now, there are a lot of things to like about it, the build quality, the pixel sense display, and all the things you know and love about a Surface device, it being a 2-in-1 detachable, setting the standard going forward. Well, what if I were to tell you that there is not only a device out there that has maybe perhaps a better display, but it also has a dual mode keyboard. What does that mean? Not only does it connect via pogo pins, but you can use it via Bluetooth. It doesn't have to be attached. That was something I really wanted from day one. Now, I do have something in the studio that fits the bill. It's called the Robo Kala. It started off as a Kickstarter campaign, but did so well and was so popular, it is now available for retail purchase. And they were kind enough to send over one for me to check out. Now, what we have here is a gorgeous 12.6-inch AMOLED display. We've got the keyboard here, and again, what makes it special is the fact that you can use this detached from the unit. I can actually go to a website and start scrolling around. It's that easy and that good. So we have a lot to talk about. The big question, though, is this the Surface Pro killer we've been waiting for? We're going to find out. Hey, everybody, it's Andrew, and this is the Robo Kala 2-in-1 laptop, all new for 2023. Coming up. Now, as far as specs are concerned, the Robo Kala 2-in-1 laptop comes with a 12.6-inch 2.5K AMOLED display. Yes, AMOLED. That's really incredible here. And it also has the Snapdragon 8cx Gen 3. That's an ARM processor. And it also has a 41.4 watt-hour battery. We'll get into the battery life and charging times later on in this video. And it's also, of course, a big difference with the Surface Pro 9 when it comes to price. And I want to let you know that right now, the price of Robo Kala is actually half the price of the Surface Pro 9 with 5G. So for the cost of the Surface Pro 9 5G tablet, you can get the complete set of Robo Kala. So if you're interested in learning more about pricing and the product information, just click the official Robo Kala website link in the description below. So without further ado, let's get this out of the box. Now, holding the unit for the first time, my first impression is, wow, this thing is thin and light, reminiscent of the Surface Pro X. It might even be thinner and lighter. Now, as far as the GAN charger, it's a 65-watt USB-C charger, flip-out prongs, very nice and portable as well. You get some documentation, of course, which will give you a setup guide and so forth, and you get the unit itself. Now, right off the bat, you're looking at an aluminum alloy, CNC machine aluminum, of course, and it also has this gorgeous sea pine green finish. It is absolutely stunning, people. I'm thinking this is a really gorgeous looking portable device. Now, of course, this wouldn't be a true Surface competitor if it didn't have a keyboard cover. Now, of course, Robo Kala sent that over. Now, this is included in the package, of course, so that's great. Now, lifting the lid of it, of course, it reveals some documentation, which, of course, gives you a diagram on how to use this dual-purpose keyboard. Yes, dual-purpose. We'll talk about that in a moment. But, of course, it has the same sea pine green finish, and I'm really loving the key travel right off the bat. Feels good. The tactility is good and very, very well built in terms of this keyboard cover, matching the excellent build quality of the Robo Kala itself. And one of the things I love is that this is a dual mode keyboard, meaning you connect it via the pogo pins, as you see here, like a traditional Surface Pro device, but you could also use it via Bluetooth, so you don't have to have it connected. There are many different possibilities we'll show you in a little bit. Now, of course, they also sent over the Smart Pen. Of course, we want to be able to take notes, sketch out artwork, and that is great with this Smart Pen. Now, this uses the Microsoft Pen Protocol 2.0. It's got 4,096 levels of pressure sensitivity. Very, very comfortable in the hand. Very nice to use so far, taking notes, sketching out artwork. It all works well. And it stores and charges magnetically to the side of the unit, a very secure connection. And they also sent over this really high-end premium carrying sleeve that really has a nice fit, carries everything with it, so it protects the unit and gives you a nice stylish look at the same time. Love that. Now, the Robo Kala is extremely light. Now, they're saying about 1.5 pounds, but I'm seeing a little bit more than that. But of course, with the total package, everything all in, you've got the keyboard cover, you've got the pen, you've got the power charger, and everything else. You're looking at a little bit more than 3 pounds to take with you on the go. That's a pretty good portable package here for 2023. Thin and light is the name of the game here. Now, when it comes to the ports, there are two USB Type-C ports, both located on the left side of the unit. They are full function, supporting data, charge, and display out. They both work perfectly fine. Now, as far as what's on the right side, there are no ports other than the place where you're going to store and charge your smart pen wirelessly. And on the top of the unit is your power button and your volume rocker. And as I mentioned earlier, the Robo Kala has that Snapdragon 8cx Gen 3, whereas the Surface Pro 9 with 5G is running the Microsoft SQ3, basically a rebranded Snapdragon 8cx Gen 3. So for all intents and purposes, they're running pretty much the same processor, although the SQ3 may be a little bit higher in terms of the clock speeds, but very, very little in terms of a difference. Just keep that in mind. They both have the same Adreno 8cx Gen 3 graphics. Now, the Surface Pro 9 with 5G does have a 47.7 watt-hour battery, whereas the Robo Kala has a 41.4 watt-hour battery. Now, the key differentiator is going to be the display. Robo Kala went with a 12.6-inch OLED or AMOLED display with a 16:10 aspect ratio, 2.5K resolution, 600 nits of brightness, and a 60 Hz refresh rate. The Surface Pro 9 with 5G has a larger 13-inch display with a 2.8K resolution, 3:2 aspect ratio, and a dynamic refresh rate up to 120 Hz. And of course, you're doubling the price if you do go with the Surface Pro 9 with 5G. Okay, folks, let's talk about the display, and we're looking at an absolutely gorgeous AMOLED display. It's 12.6 inches. It has a 16:10 aspect ratio. That's a resolution of 2560 by 1600, and it has a brightness of 600 nits. So not only is this gorgeous to look at, but it is super bright, so it allows you to use this in both indoor and outdoor scenarios. It's got great coverage of the color gamut. It's got good DCI P3 color gamut coverage here, and it also has an amazing touch experience on it. So the touch layer is really optimized for not only use with the finger, but also with the pen. Now, we'll get into the pen in a moment, but as far as this AMOLED display, you're going to get the really deep blacks, the super vibrant colors, the really high contrast. Everything you'd expect with an AMOLED display is here. Watching Netflix, Amazon, YouTube has been superb on this AMOLED panel. And there are some key differences between this display and that of the Surface Pro 9 with 5G. Now, the Surface Pro 9 does have a 13-inch display. This is a smaller 12.6-inch display, and they have a different aspect ratio. This has a 16:10 aspect ratio. Surface Pro 9 has a 3:2 aspect ratio. They both have their benefits and they both have their cons. I think 16:10 to me is the best blend. It's good for productivity, but it's also got smaller black bars when consuming media that has been optimized for 16:9. But of course, 3:2 aspect ratio is great for doing less scrolling, seeing more on the display. It is a taller nature. However, when you are consuming media that has been optimized for 16:9, those black bars on the top and the bottom are much more noticeable. And of course, the difference between an AMOLED display and an IPS display, to me, is pretty big. I think the AMOLED display is just more vibrant. It's just sharper. It pops more. And I think that is the edge for me as far as picking a display. Now, one key difference, of course, is going to be the refresh rate. Now, this has a 60 Hz refresh rate on an AMOLED display. Now, of course, we've seen AMOLED displays with a higher refresh rate. I know Samsung does it. We know Asus does it. But this does not have a higher refresh rate. It's 60 Hz, which is perfectly fine for this type of portable device. Whereas the Surface Pro 9 with 5G has a really high refresh rate, a dynamic refresh rate up to 120 Hz. Now, that has been great for the smooth scrolling and all that, but of course, you're paying a lot more money on that one, and using it at 120 Hz will eat more battery life. So at the end of the day, while it would have been nice to have a higher refresh rate option, I like the price here, and I like the fact that it is an AMOLED display, and having 60 hertz means you're going to maximize the battery life. So to me, that's a trade-off I'm willing to accept. Now, to me, the keyboard is an essential part of the Surface-like experience that this will give you as a 2-in-1 detachable. Now, the key travel has been good, the tactility has been good, and really comfortable for typing out long documents and emails so far in the time that I've used it. So really good in that regard. One key difference, of course, will be that this doesn't have a raised typing angle like you get on the Surface Pro devices with the Surface keyboard on that. So that's just something to be aware of, although this is a very good keyboard. Now, there is a really nice backlight on it, so that allows you to get work done in a dark room or a dimly lit environment. No issues in that regard. And it has a really nice precision touchpad here that was super responsive when it comes to scrolling and doing all the gestures. This is a really good accessory to the Robo Kala. And unlike the Surface Pro 9, this has a dual mode keyboard. You can use it with Bluetooth, and that gives you all sorts of possibilities. Now, the keyboard and pen, of course, is going to be essential. And speaking of the pen, we're looking at a Microsoft Pen Protocol 2.0, as I mentioned earlier. So you're going to get the 4,096 levels of pressure sensitivity. Taking notes, sketching out artwork so far has been really good. The pressure sensitivity is spot on when it comes to that. So really good. And I'm going to talk more about it in a future video, of course, a follow-up video on this. But if you're a note taker, this is definitely one to look at, especially for the price point, to have such an excellent note-taking device on the go in such a thin and light package. You can't go wrong. And for those that are not a fan of the Carpenter style Slim Pen 2, some people just don't feel it is as comfortable as a traditional type pen as we have here, this is a great alternative. And it has that super strong connection on the side, as I mentioned earlier, so you don't have to worry about losing it. That's pretty good. So this is the front-facing camera on the Robo Kala 2-in-1 here for 2023. This started as a Kickstarter campaign. It is now available for retail purchase. Again, link will be in the description below. This is a 1080p camera. It's an IR camera. That means you can log in with face recognition with Windows Hello. What do you think about the video quality? What do you think about the audio quality of the mics? Does it do a good job on the noise canceling? Let me know in the comment section below. This certainly comes in a lot less money in terms of what you have to lay out as opposed to the Surface Pro 9 with 5G or even the one with the Intel processor. This is definitely a great value. Really impressive so far. Again, I want to know what you think. Let me know in that comment section below. So this is the rear-facing camera on the Robo Kala 2-in-1 convertible. Here you can see my pool. And I have to say, the quality won't be as good as your high-end smartphone, of course, nowadays. But for a tablet, this actually isn't too bad. Again, 4K video, 13-megapixel camera. So if you need to take some photos or videos in a pinch, this certainly will come in handy. And just like the Surface Pro 9 with 5G, this is running an ARM-based processor, the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8cx Gen 3. Now, of course, the Surface Pro 9 is running a modified version of that, the SQ3, that was in tandem with Microsoft. So a little bit different in that regard, but basically the same processor at the end of the day. And we're seeing very similar results when it comes to the single and multi-core score of the Geekbench 5 test. Now, Geekbench 5 worked, Geekbench 6 didn't work, which is pretty indicative of some of the issues you're going to run into when running an ARM-based processor on the Windows side of things. That's been an issue over the years, and it's gotten better. Most applications are working now, but some still don't work. I couldn't get the PC Mark X to work. I couldn't get 3D Mark to work, but I couldn't get it to work on the Surface Pro 9 with 5G either. And that's an issue with Windows on ARM, not an issue specific just to this device. You'll be perfectly fine for everyday office use, Microsoft Office, email, web browsing. Pretty much the same applications you'd run on a Surface Pro 9 with 5G, you could run here. But these synthetic benchmarks don't really tell you a full story. Using it every day as I have, there have been no slowdowns or hiccups. Consuming media on this has been great. Watching Netflix, Amazon, YouTube. Opening multiple tabs in your web browser, I would recommend going with Edge because it is based on Chromium and it is optimized for Windows on ARM, and it worked very well in terms of scrolling and doing everything you would on a regular PC that is running an Intel-based processor. You won't notice the difference. So that's why when you see low numbers on the synthetic benchmarks, it really doesn't tell you the full story. It doesn't give you the complete picture. And just like the Surface Pro 9, lifting the kickstand reveals a little door that is removable via suction cup that allows you to swap out and expand out the storage if you so choose. And speaking of the SSD, check out these reads and writes. I would say these are the equivalent of a Gen 3 speeds in terms of the SSD, not the Gen 4 we see on a lot of the Intel or AMD-based processors. But of course, this is certainly fine for what you needed to do with this device. And for those wondering, the Robo Kala had better reads and writes than the SSD on the Surface Pro 9 with 5G. Now, one of the supposed benefits of going with a Windows on ARM device is going to be pretty amazing battery life. And that's exactly what I saw when I tested the Robo Kala. Now, it has a 41.4 watt-hour battery. It's smaller than the Surface Pro 9 with 5G, which has a 47.7 watt-hour battery. And I got 15 hours and 22 minutes on the web surfing test that I was able to run on this, whereas the Surface Pro 9 with 5G just got a little bit over 10 hours. I think we can attribute the better battery life to the fact that this is running at 60 hertz as opposed to 120. Now, when I did the video playback test, of course, I put both units in the same condition, of course. I turned off the Wi-Fi, I turned off all the external radios and etc. And I put it to 40% screen brightness. So that is the conditions I ran it on, and I got 16 hours and 43 minutes, which is pretty amazing here. And while I didn't get the claimed 20 hours of battery life that Robo Kala got in the ideal circumstances, in an ideal environment, I was able to do much better than the Surface Pro 9 with this Robo Kala. So much better battery life than the Surface Pro 9 with 5G. And if you do need to plug in, this applied 65-watt GAN charger takes a little bit more than an hour to give you a full charge. Pretty good. Now, when it comes to the audio, you're looking at two speakers on this, and I thought they were okay, although they could use a little bit more bass, but for the overall sound, I thought it was good. Volume was good. For a thin and light, ultra-portable device, this actually has pretty nice sound. Now, I will say the Surface Pro 9 does have a little bit more bass, a little bit more volume, and overall sound. However, you are paying double the price for the Surface Pro 9 with 5G. Just keep that in mind. So for a little portable device that comes in half the price, the Robo Kala certainly holds its own. Let's give them a listen. Okay, people, let's bring it all home. And I'm going to say this right off the bat. Robo Kala has created a true Surface Pro 9 with 5G competitor. This comes in half the price. This has an AMOLED display. It has a dual mode keyboard, and it has excellent build quality to rival that of the Surface Pro 9 with 5G. It comes in thinner and it comes in sleeker, in my opinion. It has all the features of the Surface Pro 9 with 5G, with the exception of the higher refresh rate, of course, and the better speakers. I think that is definitely on the Surface Pro 9. But that is a willing sacrifice I'll make, a trade-off I'll make for half the price. Again, we cannot stress that enough. This thing is an awesome value because you're getting a lot for your money, a lot of bang for the buck. Now, with Windows on ARM, there are going to be some apps that don't work. It's not indicative of just this unit. It's the Surface Pro 9 with 5G and other units, of course. We've seen that in the past, and it's gotten better, of course, but there are certain applications that still won't work. So make sure sure before you buy this, it is the kind of unit you want to use as far as what applications you need on a daily basis. For me, web browsing, consuming media, doing some light work, email, all that stuff, this certainly fits the bill. I've had no issues whatsoever. The pen works well as far as pressure sensitivity, taking notes, sketching out artwork. The keyboard is excellent, especially in the dual mode. You can use it as a Bluetooth device, so you don't have to have it attached. You can use it detached, and it worked really well. Very responsive, no latency, really, really good. Very impressive so far here, ladies and gentlemen. I think Robo Kala has hit a home run here. It started as a Kickstarter campaign. It is now available for purchase, and I think this is an excellent device, one of the best devices I've used here for 2023, and that's saying a lot. They've really hit a home run here, and I highly recommend it. So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a device or something out there you think I should review. I'll do my best to try to make that happen. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, my website, amdtechreviews.com. So until next time, this is Andrew, and I'll see you in the next video.